And, and hello everyone, welcome to another Mole Hole. I am your host Chriz, aka the Mole. Joining me for this one is Richter Hammer.
Hello.
Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hello.
And James Phoenix.
Yo.
And we're here today to discuss cinematic universes in general. The pitfalls of them, the pros, the cons, and stuff like that, and whether or not everything needs one. This sort of spun off because me and Richter started to go into a little bit of a discussion about this during XGR this week. So we decided, fuck it, let's put a little pin in it, and let's essentially do it again as a later video, which this is the later video. Yay, enjoy. But yeah, so far we have Marvel Cinematic Universe, the beginning of the DC Cinematic Universe,
Yep.
And coming soon, the Star Wars Cinematic Universe,
Yep.
Transformers Cinematic Universe. I believe Universal Studios was doing a monster movie cinematic universe.
Yeah, they were trying, but then Dracula Untold bombed, so we don't know how that's going to progress from here out.
Yeah, that's weird. So let's go with the main one first, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's your thoughts, Rick, on the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole?
Well, when it first started, I thought it was actually a really good idea, and in a lot of ways, in the broader sense of like with DC too, I think that comic books, because they at least from my limited knowledge, they tend to be connected anyway. It kind of makes sense for them to do it, so I think it was a good idea, when they did it. For better or for worse, it got popular, and then other people did it, which I think that's a mistake. But in the sense of like with Marvel, I think it's pretty good. I worry that they're going too much too fast. Like they're trying to, not well, I guess in some ways strike while the iron's hot, like while the public cares, try to get stuff out. But I'm worried that they'll like kill it early, Activision style, by doing that.
I could see that, and yeah, I agree that like we've said in the past of Marvel and DC, it makes sense just because of the nature of the comic books, how they normally have single heroes, and then there's normally, as much as for better or worse, a yearly event, which isn't normally necessarily good, but sometimes they're crap. Really crap. See a previous Mole Hole where I discussed the pitfalls of events, but it's a case of, however, they're doing that, and the event is the team-up movie. Cool. It made perfect sense. Like Transformers, when they announced they're doing a Transformers cinematic universe, I'm like, I don't get how this is a thing. Well, yeah. We're going to show other Autobots on another planet. Well, it's still called Transformers. It's just a different group. It shouldn't be a cinematic universe. No. You can't have like the Cybertron series and stuff running side by side.
When that was first mentioned, or whenever it's mentioned, I always make a face. Sorry, go ahead.
We see from the point of view of Megatron how it makes him feel, Because that would be interesting.
Yeah,
like, my mother robot never loved me. We should go on about that.
Yeah, and post-credits for Transformers 4, they'll tease Unicron, and then it's cool, we won't see him until, like, Transformers 7.
Well, the thing is with like, the Transformers, they're always, like, sides and teams already, so it's kind of, like, It'd be weird if it's, like, Bumblebee gets a movie, and then it's like, oh, every couple years he'll team up with Prime. No, they hang out together all the time, like... At least with the Avengers, that they kind of had, as far as I understand, they had their own stuff beforehand and then kind of made up. So it makes sense that they're, kind of weave in and out of the team. Where like a G.I. Joe, cinematic universe would be silly. They're a team. It'd be weird if they went off to do other stuff and then just every couple years be like, all right, let's have a barbecue. Oh, good thing we did because Cobra decided to strike right now.
Yep.
It's because he wasn't invited to the barbecue. You know that.
I wouldn't invite him either. He brings like poison and crap, and a dude with a metal head, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And some guy that looks like the president.
Yeah, it's like, I will also say, I also find it a little weird that people always, which it makes sense, but people always say like Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're the ones that did it first. Didn't X-Men do it first?
I guess, kinda, yeah.
Because they did the X-Men films and then a Wolverine standalone film. And they were also
That
planning
sucked.
a Magneto film and stuff like that, but
Was
then
it?
obviously Magneto turned into First Class.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Wolverine standalone one? Wasn't that like after Marvel had already started? Like, I don't think after Avengers. I don't remember, but wasn't it already after people knew that there were plans for that, or no?
He doesn't mean the Wolverine. He means X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, but wasn't that like?
Yeah, that's what I thought he was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But isn't that after? Wasn't that like after people knew that Marvel?
I
was
thought it
doing
was
the
after,
Avengers
like,
one?
I thought it was when, like, Thor and, like, Thor came out or something, like, around that time.
I thought that one was first, because I seem to remember seeing that first, but I can't remember. I know Jim will look it up in a sec.
Or not.
He's not looking it up.
Give me a minute. I can only type so fast. No, let's see. Okay, X-Men Origins Wolverine came out in 2009, and at that point, the first Iron Man movie and the first Hulk movie were out, or the only Hulk movie, I should say. So between Hulk and Iron Man 2 is when Origins Wolverine dropped.
Okay.
Hulk movie.
I like
'Cause
the
there's-
I like the Incredible Hulk film. I will say I did like the Incredible Hulk film, but yeah, I knew they were doing that. But I also know when X-Men did X-Men 1, 2, and before the third one even came out, they talked about doing a Wolverine film, and they also talked about doing a Magneto film and stuff. Yeah,
And I
they
think
talked about doing films. So I think technically X-Men had the idea first.
I can agree with that, because I know there was a few others Origins films that they were considering possibly after the Magneto one if the idea worked. So I think
I do not know.
Yeah, I think Fox did have the concept for this sort of cinematic universe where the X-Men had their own movies, and then Marvel took the idea and they ran with it further.
So Marvel's like Japan, they take our ideas but make them better?
Pretty much. I mean, Marvel was planning from Iron Man 1 to do this. We know Kevin Feige had his multi-year plan in place. It just wasn't publicly known initially.
I thought it was known before way before the film came out that it was going to be part of a shared universe. That was one of the things people got hyped for.
At the very least, at the end, they knew with the bonus scene.
Yeah. There is also that, but yeah. And then, like
first
I said,
appearances of Coulson.
And I will also point out as well that the X-Men one as well. I don't think the X-Men one was the first one Fox were trying either. Because who remembers them saying they were going to do that with Fantastic Four?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
I remember when Fantastic Four 2 was coming out, before it came out, they were talking about doing standalone Silver Surfer movies and stuff.
I don't remember that.
And then, Fantastic Four 2 bombed like fuck. So they're like, yeah, maybe people don't want to see this.
Yeah, so now they remade it to be, I guess, within the X-Men continuity, apparently.
Yeah, which means I'll team up Fantastic Four, X-Men, Deadpool and stuff, so that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I was going to say, I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, it works for the idea. However, I think they've cheapened the effect.
A little bit.
But I don't know if that's just me, or I don't know if you'd agree with that as well, Rick, but I think they've cheapened the effect.
I'd say they definitely did. Just because I saw what was it called now? Thor 2 and Iron Soldier, and those seemed like
Soldier.
Yeah, that. So
Yeah.
that thing,
The Iron Soldier sounds like those Asylum films making an Iron Man parody.
Yeah, it's just whatever. Those felt like extras to me. They were full movie length and everything. They really felt like backup things.
See,
like that could have been like a TV show or something,
See, I
less so on the Captain America side, but I don't know, just by having those extra things, and I know they still tie into it. It just felt like extra surplus stuff that wasn't really needed.
Yeah, but I was going to say, what I meant by the ruining of the effect is, like, take For the Dark World. Makes perfect sense. That was a good film. I'd say that was pretty much as good as the first. The problem with it is the fact we saw Loki suddenly turn into Captain America. So Captain America is now in Thor's movie. You go to Captain America Winter Soldier, and I haven't seen it yet, but I know from the trailer Black Widow's in it, and coming soon with Captain America 3, Iron Man's in it. It's like, okay, so what's the point at the big team up at the end where it's a big deal that these characters are now together if they're always together in every fucking film? That kind of ruins the effect of
the Avengers is the Hulk movie that they don't want to make anymore.
Yeah.
That's the only one he appears in. I guess he was in the bonus scene for well, at least Banner was for Iron Man 3, I believe, correct?
He was his therapist.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
He kind of said, "Yeah, I can't really deal with your shit."
Yeah, I'm not that kind of doctor.
Yeah, I also have to wonder, at least to me, does Marvel fully know all of what they plan to do with the cinematic universe?
No.
Well, as I understand it, Kevin Feige basically plans out a phase at a time. So they start with Phase 1, then by the end of Phase 1, they had Phase 2 planned out, and now they're going through Phase. They're working through the beginning of. Now they have Phase 2 over, and they're going into Phase 3 right now, and now they know at least up to Infinity War Part 2 for Phase 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know they say they plan it out all the way into the phases, but like let's just look at Phase 1. Okay? At the end of Incredible Hulk, we see Iron Man talk to General Ross about giving him the technology for Hulkbusters. Then in come Avengers, when Hulk shows up and stuff, and is in the city and he's doing all the stuff even when he's on his own, we never see Hulkbusters. They're never brought up again. And I'm like, wait, was that just there because you were like, well, maybe we'll use these?
They had the Hulk Iron Man thing in the second movie. I mean, the Hulky.
You're on about the Hulkbuster Iron Man suit. I'm on about the actual Hulkbusters, which were the ones that tracked Hulk.
Okay.
I believe that has to do with Marvel wanting you not to remember that Hulk movie was made with an actor that was not as good as the one they have now.
Yeah. I thought both actors were equally good.
Edward Norton was good, but I like this guy better. I can't remember his name.
Mark Ruffalo.
Thank you. Yeah, I like Mark Ruffalo. I like Mark Ruffalo better, and I think the reason is because they've realized that Hulk movies were not successful, and that was the only one. So they decided that they're going to make coy references to it here and there, but they're really going to basically pretend that movie didn't happen. It happened. They're just not going to outright acknowledge that it happened too much if they can avoid it.
Or it might be due to the other reason.
What's that?
Universal Studios actually helped fund that movie, and Universal Studios does own the rights to live-action Hulk movies that are standalone.
Ah.
And they're willing to work with Marvel, but as we've seen, Marvel says "fuck you" to other studios. I mean, literally, they even said to him, "Hey, here you go, have the rights to the Hulk film. Go ahead, you can even sell it in your box sets." They literally handed it to him, and Marvel are still like, "Let's pretend it doesn't exist. Fuck it, who needs Betty?"
Well, I think it's because
Hulk doesn't.
I think it's just because Hulk films bring back bad memories for people. Because the Ang Lee film soured everybody on the fucking Hulk, and the Incredible Hulk Norton film made it a little bit better, but people still weren't totally on board. I think they realized the Hulk was just too difficult of a character to work with in the solo films, and it was easier to just have him in the group films.
See, I thought it was due to the Universal Studios thing, due to recent interview, when was it, like a month ago, when they would talk about the idea of doing a Planet Hulk film that got brought up, and they mentioned the Incredible Hulk film was a success for Marvel. They mentioned people loved the Incredible Hulk film and people want to see more of it. It's just they can't do it without asking Universal, and they don't want to, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
Because people were asking for a Planet Hulk film, which I would be against. I didn't really care for Planet Hulk.
What is Planet Hulk?
Go watch the animated film.
I'm just imagining it's a Hulk, a planet full of Hulks.
Basically, Hulk lands on a planet, fucks some things, and spreads a whole race of Hulks, including a new son. It's stupid. That was a stupid story.
Okay, so it wasn't exactly wrong.
Yeah, but like I said, that's not a good story. It's like I don't want to see in a future film. I don't want to see Rolk and Shulk show up.
I don't know what that is, so okay.
Red Hulk and She-Hulk. Who's red?
I like regular She-Hulk who's green.
I like regular She-Hulk. What I don't like is Betty as Red Hulk or Red She-Hulk and General Ross as Red Hulk, because it's like his whole character revolves around him not understanding the Hulk. Making him a Hulk completely underdoes him forever.
Be like JJ as Spider-Man.
Yes. And
not like that funny cutscene where he was wearing it for... Was that Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
That's what I was, yeah, that's not just Spider-Man 2.5. No, that DVD's totally worth it just for that, but they totally fuck up the lift scene.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. For the record, according to Feige, the reason there wasn't a Hulk movie in Phase 2 is because pretty much everybody else in the Avengers had their own movie. Iron Man, Captain America, Widow and Fury were in Captain America's movie. Thor had a movie, and so basically the idea was there needs to be something, somebody special you get to see in the Avengers movie that you didn't get to see in these movies. So Hulk.
And also, like I mentioned, the Universal thing he mentioned 1 month ago. It's on IGN.
Okay.
You're more than capable of go looking that up, Jim, instead of just joining in the conversation. But yeah.
Yeah. But they did say they're hoping that maybe they could do a Hulk movie coming up in the future. They're potentially entertaining the idea. They just got to find a place. Right now, Hulk's going to appear with his friends in their Phase 3 films, and perhaps in April 2015, Ruffalo said Universal owning. Okay, yeah, Ruffalo did mention it. That may be an obstacle. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So you're going to join in now? But yeah, it was a case of. Like I said to you, Rick, what do you think about the idea of the fact they keep showing up in each other's films? Does that cheapen the team-up movie?
I think it's really a case-by-case thing. I did see that it was in the Thor movie. That more felt like a FU or like maybe a cameo. Like, we could have put Captain America in here, but nah. With Black Widow in Cap's movie, I think that made perfect sense.
Yeah, that made sense.
She's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent? Like, I thought Hawkeye should have been there too, to be fair, but I guess their explanation is in Avengers 2. I just didn't understand that until someone's, pointed out, like, that's probably the reason. I was like, oh, okay. But that made sense to me. So no, I think depends on how much they're used. Like, if it was just Iron Man, like with Civil War, I understand why Iron Man's going to be there. But if like Iron Man just was palling around with Thor, I'd be like, what? But like, if it's Black Widow and Cap, that people that work for Shield, it makes sense that they would be close to each other and that if something's happening, they could help each other. But so I don't necessarily think it's bad, but I could see that they could easily go the wrong way just to try and be, like, no offense to Stan Lee, I do like him, but I feel like his cameos get more and more overt each time, and I feel like they might do that with other Avengers cameoing in other movies, where it's like too in your face instead of just a little thing. It's like, okay, they're here, or like, where are they gonna show up? Instead of something that makes sense, they just put it in there to get people to go, look, that guy, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I can agree the 4-1 was more of a parody thing. If he turns into it's like, fuck you, and as he's mocking him, it was funny. The scene was funny, but it's like I just realized with like the Black Widow one, Captain America 1 has Captain America. Captain America 2 and 3 has Captain America and another person from Avengers in it. It's like, is he capable? Are they? Whoa, what the hell's that loud noise from Pew?
Sorry.
But yeah, I was saying, it's almost like that. Like, is he incapable of having his own film, without relying on the other people? And that makes me sad. I would totally watch a film of Thor and Jane on a double date with Iron Man and Pepper.
Wow. I think that for the Captain America thing, that might actually be, because I think that in some ways, going back to what was earlier, I think that's also one obstacle for the Hulk movie is I don't know if they feel that people would be interested enough in it and that's maybe one reason why they might, at least for the origin story, I hope they would try to go forward and not backwards. But Captain America 1, while I enjoyed it, I think I think the second one was way better. But it seems like a lot of people kind of made fun of the first one for being not very interesting. So I feel like maybe they are hedging their bets, and that it's not so much that they don't think, like fully think that he couldn't pull off the movie himself. It's that they don't want to take that risk. They'd rather, like shove someone, because when they did it with the second one, they're like, oh, this one did better, so they might not understand why it did better, and so they'll just be like, well, I guess it works better with shoving someone else in there. So they do that to more, hedge their bets so it doesn't flop.
I could see that. Like I mentioned in Phase 1, I found Captain America to be the dullest of the films, if that makes sense.
I could see that, yeah.
However, it's not the worst, because that's also the same phase that features Iron Man 2 and 3. Which I will say, I was so happy when I saw Thor: The Dark World that it didn't completely suck. I was like, yeah, this is actually good, because seeing Iron Man 2 and 3, I was like, can they not write sequels? That's one of the reasons I didn't go to see Avengers 2 in the cinema, because seeing Iron Man 2 and 3, I'm like, it's not going to be that good. And then when I saw Thor: Dark World, I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. I'm still looking forward to sometime this week. I'll check out Captain America 2. But what do you think, Jim, about the people appearing in other films?
I think it's okay as long as you don't go overboard with it. Because I feel like if you have everybody show up in your movie, yeah, that could be a problem. But if you have a couple, it could work. Like Winter Soldier worked well because you had Cap was the star, and then Black Widow was there helping him out, so you had one ally, and then Nick Fury showed up on and off, mostly at the beginning. So it's like, okay, you have one, another Avenger in there, they're working together, doing stuff that worked well. Same thing, like as long as you're not going overboard and crazy with it, and in that case, it made sense because both Cap and Black Widow work for Shield, so it made sense. As long as you're not overboard, you can have an appearance here and there, but I think with Civil War, I feel like that should have been an Avengers movie and not a Captain America movie. I'm not really sure why they're making that a Captain America movie.
I could agree with that, or just a standalone movie called Civil War.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would also be awesome.
The other problem is I feel like they're bitching out the major Civil War storyline just for the sake of having a way to do this to get it out of the way because they feel obligated so they can move on to the Infinity War.
It would make me feel really good if they build up Iron Man this whole time, just so when they do Civil War, they try to make you hate him as much as possible.
Yeah, that would be
built all this stuff, now we're taking it away.
That'd be awesome. I also feel Civil War could have been kept till after the Infinity War.
Yeah.
Like it's literally called Infinity War. So you're like, oh my god, how do you top that? Boom, Civil War. You have the heroes v hero battles with no real villain. That'd be amazing.
Right, but there's only one slight problem with that, and I can see why they did it the other way, though. Because Civil War is an event that involves all the heroes on Earth. Infinity War involves everybody in the universe.
It does, but I would make the case, is it a bigger scale?
Yes.
Because I would make the case, the first one is, the galaxy's in threat, what's going to happen? But the other one is, what's going to happen to our entire planet? What's going to happen to us on a more personal scale if all the heroes are now fighting each other? Because now what's going to happen? The heroes can't work together. There's going to be no more Avengers. There's going to be no more team-ups because the heroes now hate each other. It's more of a personal thing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. True. I just like the kind of building the threat to be bigger and bigger. So when you get to Infinity War, you can involve the Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange and all these people, and it's just a much bigger scale of film. You're fighting for the basically existence itself to stop Thanos, which is you really can't top that. It kind of has to be the last thing.
Yep. Which means what the hell are they going to do for Phase 4? Secret War?
Yes. I'll be honest. I kind of wanted Civil War after Infinity War, so I didn't have to see it because I didn't like what little I know about Civil War. So it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna be Cap 3. I was like, damn it! I was hoping that because not like they should necessarily be a slave to how the comics did it, but I remember Infinity War was years ago, and then Civil War was after it, so I thought they'd kind of follow that pattern. And then it's like we're gonna put Civil War before it, and I was like, damn it, I don't want to see that though.
Oh, you didn't enjoy seeing Iron Man be a complete dick and destroying Spider-Man for no other reason than for laughs, and seeing Clone of Thor, who we're led to believe was actually Thor, but turned out to be a clone robot. How could you not like? No, I'm kidding. That was fucking terrible.
Stark. I didn't need more reasons to not like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I agree. With Civil War the comic, it was a great idea. And then, like, literally halfway through, the second Thor appears because it's not Thor, it's clone Thor, robotic shit. It's like the whole story just goes downhill fast. It's like WWE storylines. A great idea, poorly executed. But I will say another aspect of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which we sort of went into a discussion on, and I know Jim's on the opposite opinion on this, which is fine, is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
I feel this doesn't need to exist. Or if it does, it should be better. Because what I mean by that is they constantly tease that it has something important to do with the films, then has almost fuck all to do with them. It doesn't affect anything. It's just explaining shit that doesn't need to be explained. It's midi-chlorians to show. Or if they're gonna do it that way, why not just ignore the films slightly and just make the film actually, or make the series, about the series, not just promising us something will happen. Like, I've seen For the Dark World, I've seen the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, that's the tie-in episode. I feel completely jibbed. Because after knowing that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode and knowing how it's meant to tie in, I feel completely jibbed because it's like they wasted an episode for the sole purpose of selling a film. Which should have sold itself, because it's fucking Thor. But I don't know. I know Jim's on the opposite opinion of that. No.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony. Sorry, I yawned.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I can agree that the show isn't necessary. I can certainly agree with you like that, but I think it is cool. And I think having a thing that can tie into the movie like that and being able to pick out all the references to the films and this and that in the show is a fun thing. And a lot of the events in the show are self-contained. Yeah, they reference the films occasionally, but even that's really not that strong. They really aren't going that deep into the references. Yeah, they did that one particular episode where Lady Sif showed up to stop somebody. Fair enough. They had that, once in a blue moon. There's an offhanded,
Don't they do almost one episode per movie almost?
Not really. They did that one for Thor, and I think they did one for Winter Soldier. I think it's the only two they did.
They did one for Thor, one for that one. They did something for Avengers. There's 3 out of how many of this phase?
They did one for the Avengers?
Yeah, the one where apparently you see Nick Fury gets a helicarrier. Which seems completely pointless. It's fucking Nick Fury. No need to explain this shit. That was my point of, you don't need to do all the tie-ins and all the explaining shit that doesn't need to be explained, and just make the show good, and just don't hinder on that. Or if you're gonna keep promising something big will happen, make it something that actually affects the films in a massive way that doesn't instantly get explained within said film anyway, so you don't have to watch them.
Which is fair enough. I'm just saying I think it's a fun little experiment. It's cool that it does tie into what's going on, and that they have they do have those little references, so you feel like it's part of the same universe. You understand that the events in one are affecting the other, and that's what makes it really cool. Like I said, I was telling Mo in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, in the episode leading up, as they were building things, they had been talking about for most of the season that Coulson had been. They discovered Coulson was secretly working on something called Theta Protocol that he didn't tell anybody about. And they're like, what the hell is it? They're trying to find out what Theta Protocol was, and nobody really knew what it was. And they had this big story. Basically, S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed, as I'm sure you know, and Coulson was made the new director by Fury and was charged with rebuilding it. But it turned out more of S.H.I.E.L.D. survived because part of that secret council of shadowy people that secretly rule the world. Those people. Anyway, a couple of them are still around, and one of them was Edward James Olmos. Go figure. But anyway, they kind of start working with Coulson after they're like, it turns out this other S.H.I.E.L.D. was fighting Coulson. S.H.I.E.L.D. like, wait, why are we fighting each other? Let's just not do that because we're wasting our time. Let's work together. I'll be the director. You guys advise me like you did Fury, and we'll just get on with our lives. And they're like, okay, cool. So they finally work all that out, and shit starts to hit the fan in the show because they're dealing. The big thing in the show is the Inhumans. The show is building up the Inhumans. It's pretty much what it's doing.
Too many words.
Pew, everything is too many words for you.
That's true.
Okay, basically stuff happens, blah, 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 building up to a thing. Okay.
Anyway, now let me finish.
Universe, not TV universe.
I don't care.
I'm gonna make the comment.
Television can be cinematic. Anyway.
And I'm gonna make the case, Pew. Building up a thing is as many words as building up the Inhumans, as Inhumans is one word. Thank you.
Thank you. But basically, basically they built this whole thing up, and
syllables.
Yeah, they just did the season finale, which is basically the leader of the Inhumans, who is I don't know if you guys know the character Daisy Johnson.
Nope.
Anyway, in the comics, she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and she's known to have some powers. Well, she's one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, but she's become like the main character. They got to build her up over the last season to be the main character now in the focus, and she's going to be the leader of the Inhumans, or at least a group that they're training under S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, anyway, as they were building up to the end of the season here, right? Because they perfectly announced that the episode before. God damn it! Hang on, give me 1 sec, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay. Saved by the bell. Okay. Oh.
Sorry. Anyway, like I was saying.
Never mind.
But basically, they built us at the episode right before the movie aired, because it was like another episode, and then the 2-hour season finale were still after the movie came out. So the Tuesday before the movie aired, they played their episode where they were building they were building all kinds of stuff up, and they had one of the Inhumans who had as precognition powers. Seems like she has this precognition of metal men will be attacking the Earth. We're all doing this, and kind of predicting the whole thing, right? And shit kind of hitting the fan, and they're trying to track down the list of Hydra, who's been experimenting with. That's why they're attacking the Hydra base in the movie, because they're experimenting on with power people, and they know Hydra's been working on this. And the movie ends. The very last scene of the episode before Avengers airs is Coulson, taking control of this, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And they finally agree that they're all going to work together. It's like, all right, now we're going to do this. And Coulson, he has the little box that Fury has that has all the information in it, and he agrees to turn him on and let him access it. And he basically sits down and he turns on a screen, and Maria Hill pops up on the screen, who has been works for Stark Industries now after S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed. And so he basically and he basically turns on the as they hear about that there's shit going on. It's a big moment, and Coulson sits down and he basically turns the screen on. And there's Maria Hill. And Coulson basically says to her, "Oh, this has gone far enough. I'm activating Theta Protocol." And she goes, "You sure about this?" He's like, "Yeah. Let's bring in the Avengers." Boom. End episode. That's why they're attacking the Hydra base in the movie, because Coulson and S.H.I.E.L.D. told them where to. Well, probably not Coulson, because I still don't think the Avengers know Coulson's alive, but probably through Fury or somebody, they told them or through Maria Hill, they told them where the S.H.I.E.L.D., the Hydra base was, and they went to attack it. And then in the episode on the following Tuesday, immediately following the release of the movie, they showed a scene near the beginning of the episode where Coulson's thinking about certain things, and he flashes back to a scene with one of the Patton Oswalt clones. That's all right, brothers, they're fucking clones. Anyway, but anyway, he goes to see one of the Patton Oswalts at one of the secret S.H.I.E.L.D. bases, and he walks in, and he's talking about, and he says does Agent May still think you're on a trip to do this and that? He's like, yeah, so I can't be too long. How's everything going? He's like, it's going well, and he gives him a lanyard to put on, because I just think about lanyards. He goes, we're doing the best we can, getting the resources and getting things done here, but it's not easy. And they walk through a door, and you see it, and Coulson's like, yeah, I'm sure it can't be easy keeping a helicarrier secret. You just see the helicarrier being worked on. Just as Coulson flashes back, it's like, oh, that's where Fury got a helicarrier.
Which, yeah, like I was saying as well, is like I said, it relies too much on the movie universes without actually affecting much, which is weird and silly. It's like Netflix did an exclusive show of Daredevil. Fucking awesome. It's amazingly awesome. It literally makes Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. look like Power Rangers. It's basically the only tie-in to the film it has is you find out that at the beginning you find out buildings got damaged in New York City, so that's basically the Kingpin's group is essentially contracting and taking advantage of superheroes by basically fixing the shit. But besides that bit at the beginning, the rest of it is all very standalone. If that makes sense. So therefore, it's a much better show because you're watching his journey. It's like when you mentioned, Rick, if it follows the comic book pattern sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like you can read Batman all the way through, and it doesn't really rely much on all the other shit until the events. And that makes it better. I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you have to see every film in order to watch all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or you don't really know what the fuck's going on as much.
See, I disagree because, like I said, if you're watching, if you're watching, there's a lot of stuff in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that, even we're just, cool references to this and that you kind of have to look up to understand. It's unique in its own right. It's building up Daisy, the character of Daisy Johnson as literally the Humans. It dealt with the whole story of her father, the character Mr. Hyde, and her mother, who was the former leader of the Inhumans, which she kind of went insane after Hydra ripped her organs out, and then she healed because she has a Wolverine healing factor. She drains the life out of people. So it's really it's building up its own. It references the movies, yes, but it's building up its own storylines. It builds its own storylines and then occasionally references the movies.
But you just sort of proved my point.
What?
By saying it has cool stuff, which, you have to look up. You shouldn't have to look up to understand what's going on.
Well, it's just some obscure Marvel references. That's the only reason I had to look it up. But somebody who knows Marvel would got that. I just didn't get it because I don't read the comics.
Yeah, but I've also had episodes when I was watching some of the episodes where I'm like, okay, I don't know why these people are here or what the hell's going on. Like I mentioned the Thor episode. Didn't understand it properly. I understood it more after seeing the Thor film, and then I'm like, okay, now I get the episode, and then the episode's stupid because of it. I shouldn't have had to watch a film to get one episode.
Which is I didn't think you really need to, because I saw that episode way before I saw the Thor movie, and I was fine with the episode.
Yeah, but you want to know everything that's going on in it without having to have What's
there to know? It's okay. Lady Sif came down. She's chasing this chick that has feminine. She's chasing this chick that has feminine wiles and this. Or is that the wiles? Well, she does. She's from Asgard or something, and she has the ability to make men do whatever she wants by talking to them. Women are immune to it, but she can make men do whatever she wants. That's her power. And so Lady Sif is trying to hunt her down. And I think that was the episode because there's been 2 episodes Lady Sif showed up, and I think that's the one that's the related one. I'm not positive.
Funny hearing you say feminine wiles. You've never heard of any women ever or what they do or what their purpose is. I've heard of this thing called woman, but I've never experienced them personally.
We gotta realize most of the quote unquote women I'm around are you. So.
She's a woman.
I know. It's hard to believe. But anyway, I understand your point, Mole. I get your point. I just feel like it's sort of a fun dream. You might not necessarily get everything, but it's still a great show because I had no idea. They had this character Skye, who initially they took her in because she hacked S.H.I.E.L.D. and they were pissed off. Basically said, "All right, here's the deal. We're bringing you in here. You're good at what you do, and I think you can be good, but you can't keep working with these hackers. Help us, and we won't lock you up and throw away the key." And she was like, all right, she started working with them. And initially she tried to betray them, but then, Coulson becomes like a father to her because she's an orphan and never had one. And they build this character up, so you're really invested in this character of Skye. And it's only later that you meet her father, Cal, and then she ends up finding out that she is, basically the Inhumans were, I don't know if this is how it is in the comics, but they explain the Inhumans are people who were genetically altered by the Kree many years ago, and these are the descendants of the altered people. I don't know if that's the comics.
It's sort of like how they had that guy who's the confident spy and is fucking amazing, suddenly turns villain, becomes completely useless and grows a shitty beard that looks drawn on because character development, an awesome show. I hate that fucking beard of his. It looks drawn on. I'm sorry, it looked drawn on.
You mean Ward?
They totally screwed him up.
Yeah. But I was going to say, just to bring it back around because we're not meant to just be discussing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was going to say, what do you think of the pitfalls of the cinematic universe, Rick?
Well, if we're going to that, really one of the pitfalls is things then seem to rely on each other. So, if you miss a piece, really, okay, I'll give an example. Maximum Carnage. Holy shit. I had a friend that had lots of money, and even he couldn't get all the comics that explained everything, so you knew what the was going on in that thing. But I think that
my advice to you, my advice to you, don't worry about what the fuck's going on in it. Play the SNES game; it's better.
We had that.
Yeah, but, the game was awesome. The comic was proof that '90s comics went downhill fast.
Yeah. It had
fucking
one good part, but other than that. But But I think that that's one of the biggest pitfalls is that one of its strengths is its weakness is that interconnectivity where you feel like you have to see everything, and I think that that's what will hurt it in the long run, is that people will tire of it faster because they might feel they have to. Whether or not they do, I don't think they do, because like I mentioned before, I didn't see Thor 2 or Iron Man 3, but I don't feel like I'm missing anything for seeing like the Avengers. And like I saw like the first a half of a season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever, and I feel like I don't, you know, like I don't feel like I'm missing anything watching like the movies I'm interested in, but I could see that they're, you know, not everyone's going to feel like that. Some people are really going to want to do that. And I think that that's one pitfall. And the other one is that they might have to rely on each other, because that's what I thought was one of the weaknesses of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was that I felt that it relied too much on that it was part of it, so it couldn't do its own thing. Was that it felt like it had to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Richter, at first it very much felt like that. But pretty much after S.H.I.E.L.D. fell and things started changing, that's when it kind of really became its own thing, and only in an episode occasionally, tangentially tied into the movies, it really did start doing its own thing, where it started building on, oh, you know, Coulson and Skye have, you know, because that's how Coulson came back to life, is they injected him with Kree blood, and now he and Skye, because he had to use it to save Skye too, and now they're both have this, there seems this serious writing that's possessing them, and it's driving them insane, but then they, and I mean that in a literal manner, people who have this before have gone insane from this. But Coulson manages to figure out it's a map, and once they know what it is, they don't go insane, and they follow it to the place where Skye gets her inhuman powers from the secret obelisk thing. It's pretty, yeah, like I said, it's a pretty fun storyline. It's fun. It got better. I think it took the first half of the season to find its footing. Once it found its footing and S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, that's when it really got good.
Yeah, it's like I said, we're not here to discuss all the details of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that, Rick. Like, literally, when we went to discuss the Avengers film, a lot of people were like, wait, why the hell can Hulk control his powers now? And I'm like, well, at the end of the Incredible Hulk film, you see him smile as his eyes glow like he can control it now. Because he literally went off to control it, and it's like he now can control it. And they're watching Avengers, like, why the fuck can Hulk control it? It's like, I understand exactly what you mean. Like, I'm watching Thor: Dark World right now, or, yeah, well, earlier. I'm gonna watch Captain America this week and stuff like that, because I'm the same way. I feel like I have to watch all those films before I can watch the Avengers film. But I'm not entirely sure what the Avengers film is going to draw upon. But you know what I mean? Like, one of those films could have a slight change in the character that makes me say, what the fuck?
Gotcha.
But, yeah, like I said, there is strengths to the cinematic universes, and there are weaknesses. But, like you said, some of them are way too dependent, and it's also like, the second people get bored of them, like you talked about before as well, like the Activision thing of, and I can't remember who makes the other one, but who remember, like, everyone got sick of Rock Band and Guitar Hero because they oversaturated the market. It's coming back, but they got sick of Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
true. If that happens midway through a phase, you're not going to have the complete story, because they're going to be losing money by making these films. They're going to just end the phase.
Yeah, but it seems unlikely that would happen, only because the reason people got sick of Guitar Heroes and Rock Band is because they were all the same fucking thing, just with different music. Whereas at least the Marvel movies, yeah, they're all tangentially they're all related, but at the same time, each hero is different and unique. And so it's really kind of cool to see all these different unique heroes. Like, you wouldn't expect Iron Man to fit in, not Iron Man, Ant-Man to fit in with this whole thing, but the Ant-Man movie looks kind of cool. I'm interested in seeing how he's gonna develop as a hero and be unique in that.
I would imagine Ant-Man would fit in very well, considering he was on the Avengers and Defenders and stuff.
I feel like, though, with just real quickly with the Guitar Hero and Rock Band, I think it wasn't so much that it was the same game that killed them, is that they started releasing them faster and faster. So, like, where it used to be like Guitar Hero, and then a year or two later was Guitar Hero 2, you had like Guitar Hero 3, then 4, then 5, and then, you know, like with Rock Band, it was like 2, 3, then Green Day, and then the Beatles one, and like they had too many in a year, or like within a short time span, and I'm worried that that's what Marvel will do. Where you know, it's like, oh, well, Thor needs a third movie, and Iron Man needs a fourth one, and now we have Ant-Man, and Captain America needs a third one, and we might as well put Vision in. You know, like, I feel like they'll have this, like, too much in a short time span, and that's what'll kill it. Not necessarily that people will get sick of it. They'll just feel like there's too much, and that they'll be like, I only have, you know, so much tickets.
At this point, if you look at their schedule between now and 2020, they've got 2 to 3 Marvel films per year. So.
Yeah, which I would make the case of, yeah, that is a very strong risk. Like Richter said then, if like you said 2 to 3 per year, there was like 2 to 3 Guitar Heroes per year, and that's
Yeah.
why people got sick of it. And by Guitar Hero, I don't just mean Guitar Hero, I also mean Band Hero, DJ Hero, and they're all unique and very different. But yeah, it's like people stop wanting to spend all that money every year just on like one game, or every year on just multiple games at once. It's like they oversaturate it. And I do feel like right now superheroes are a fad in Hollywood. I don't mean that in a bad way. I do like superhero stuff, but if the second the fad dies out, they'll move on to whatever the next fad is, and the whole universe will just crumble.
That is possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if Marvel's smart, they'll build it up to Infinity War, and that'll just be the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then they'll just wait like 10 years, and then they can start making reboots. If they're smart.
I would make the case that wouldn't be smart.
Why?
Oh my god, we've built up all these movies all the way up to Infinity War. Then wait 2 years. Now there's Iron Man again. It's like, what? People will rage, and that will stop people going to see these films with reboots.
I didn't say 2. I said 10.
What?
I didn't say
years?
2 years. I said 10 years.
I meant at the end of Infinity War Part 2, but at the end of Infinity War or 10 years, even with 10 years, it's like it was how many years since before? But when we had Amazing Spider-Man, it was how many years since the previous Spider-Man films? And people
5.
would, yeah, 5, and people like, no, I don't want to do this. And I feel like if they just waited 10 years and then tried to do this whole thing again, it won't work. It'll be catching lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah, I don't think they should necessarily reboot it. If that, I don't know if that was what Jim was saying, but yeah, once they do Infinity War, I don't necessarily think they should stop, but I also don't think that they should just wait a while and then reboot it. But I almost wonder if it went like in its own direction, like that, not like taking the comic book plot and adopting it. Like, what if it made its own plot, and then they'd probably then have the comic book mirror that. But like that could be an interesting place of where to go, is somewhere that not even the comic book people have seen.
Yeah, and I think another pitfall of the universes as well is, in my opinion,
never mind. I thought Infinity War Part 2 was the end of Phase 3, but the Inhumans movie is after that. Sorry.
No. Oh, okay. I thought you responded to what I was saying.
I don't know what the
but
Inhumans is.
I was saying
I don't even.
Not humans, I guess.
I know what the well, actually, wasn't Inhumans like a 80s cartoon? But anyway.
Inhumans is basically X-Men without the rights. But yeah, it's
pretty
basic.
much.
But I was going to say another pitfall is the fact, like we touched upon at the beginning, because it's not just Marvel's one that has pitfalls to it. We got the Marvel Cinematic Universe coming up. We got the DC one coming up. Then we're going to have a Star Wars one. Transformers, and then other ones will start to do it. And as soon, if there's going to be too many cinematic universes, people are going to have to choose which one they follow, because they'll be like, well, I can't follow Star Wars because I've also got to catch up on 5 fucking Marvel films. I can't watch the Marvel films because I have to catch up on like 7 DC films. Like, you know what I mean? It's like people won't be able to keep up with their franchise they want, and they're going to have to pick and choose one particular franchise.
That's how I feel now with TV shows.
Yeah, which people have also started doing with video games. The second stuff like Assassin's Creed became like a yearly release. So a lot of people dropped it because they had a load of other yearly releases at the same time, even though each one is different and stuff like that. It's like they can't afford or have the time to catch up on all of them at once, if that makes sense.
Well, that's probably safe. Hit and miss on Assassin's Creed. So I'd rather have everybody else play it first, tell me it's good, and then next year when the new one comes out, I'll get the cheaper one that I know is good or not.
Yeah, that was getting the point.
No.
But I'm not sure if... But I'm not sure if you'd agree with that, Rick, about the idea of too many cinematic universes will ruin the effects of all of them at once.
Not so. Yeah, I could see that. I think more, at least for me, it's that I don't think everything needs a cinematic universe. Marvel, DC, that makes sense. Star Wars, I guess I I always thought Star Wars was kind of connected anyway, so it makes sense. Like that makes sense to me. I don't know if they need to do it with how they're doing it, mostly because I don't really trust Disney. But like
And
Transformers
also,
doesn't need that, huh?
oh, I was going to say, and also because some of the stories they're doing as standalone ones, like how to get the Death Star plans, was already EU books that they
Yeah.
erased, and now they're
Yeah.
charging $15 to go see it again.
Yeah, which is kind of why I figured they did a lot of that stuff was so they could just redo it.
Yeah.
But Star Wars could make sense, but Transformers doesn't need one. In all fairness, the monster one, the Universal one, I think it was you said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
No. I can buy that Wolfman and Dracula and stuff are in the same world, but they do that in other places. I don't need it to be like a connected storyline. I kill them all in Castlevania games. That's enough for me. I don't need some team up movie where the Mummy and the Merman fight Frankenstein. That just seems besides the fact that would be kind of cool. I don't know if I need a thread that connects them all.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to see them all building to the inevitable film of Monster Squad getting its own movie.
Yeah, Monster Brawl.
I loved Monster Squad. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but the kids with the Frankenstein and stuff. That was fucking awesome.
It has nards.
Yeah, that was awesome. That'll be their Avengers. But yeah, it is getting ridiculous with that. I've also heard that apparently Terminator is looking at possibly doing a Terminator. It's the thingy shared universe.
I think it just too many universes. We're gonna collapse time and space, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
We have all the parallel universes. We're not there yet.
Yeah, it's Terminator doesn't need one.
Yeah.
Where they're well, we can do films set in the future, but we can also do films, set in the past with the human characters. Well, is a Terminator gonna get them? Because if so, it's just Terminator, and if not, it's just a drama.
Yeah.
Who goes to see Terminator and thinks, you know what, this needs less robots?
Michael Bay.
Nice.
The people who showed up at WrestleMania not knowing they were seeing a Terminator?
Yeah.
But no. Like I said, there's many pitfalls and stuff. If you have any thoughts and stuff, feel free to leave them below. But yeah, we've given our thoughts about pros, cons, and stuff like that. But I will just ask a question just to everyone here. I'll go round and ask one at a time. But what series do you think should have a cinematic universe that doesn't yet? And which one do you dread the fact they might do? And I'll start with Pew.
Oh wait, but I was still contemplating your question because it had a lot of words in it.
Okay, I'll go over to female Pew and go Jim. Boom, 2 birds, 1 stone.
So which one has one but doesn't need it, and which one that doesn't have it think needs it?
Yeah.
No, but way to cast aside the bimbo stereotype. No, all I said is, which film series do you think should have a cinematic universe, and which one do you dread the idea that they might have a cinematic universe?
Oh, okay.
But how about you, Jim?
That's tough. It's hard to say. One thing I will say, I did like. I will say I am slightly intrigued by the concept of the Universal movie monsters somehow teaming up. I don't know how it would work. I'm intrigued by the concept. I'm not sure it needs to happen, but I'm intrigued by the concept. And if they can somehow resurrect this after the bombing that was fucking Dracula Unbound, maybe they can find a way. That would be interesting to see. I think it'll be kind of interesting, and it has a very a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen feel to it.
I can't wait to the part where they all start destroying buildings and turn into women in bikinis.
Mm-hmm.
Rampage.
I briefly played that game. Anyway, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how that whole thing played out. It might be a little fun to see. I don't know. It might suck, but it could be good. I'm intrigued to it. As for something that doesn't need a cinematic universe, I'm trying to think. Well, technically that probably qualifies for both because it really doesn't need a cinematic universe. But I don't think anything else I would like to see a cinematic universe of.
Fair enough. How about you, Rick?
I don't know. I don't know if I watch enough movies that could be connected that I would. Because if it has to be something film based, I'm not sure. Outside of that, I don't know if it needs it, but I could see them doing it with like Gundam. I don't think it needs it, but I think that could work. One I dread. Well, they already did Transformers. Outside of that,
we all dread that too.
Yeah, one that I don't know. I could see, like, I'm not a huge fan of it, really, but I don't think so. I could see them trying to do, especially with trying to bring it back with a movie, but, like, I could see them trying to do that with, like, Power Rangers, and I don't necessarily think they all have to be related.
Yeah,
you know, because even the
they are
one
making that MMPR reboot movie. They could easily build that in and just show different movies with Ranger teams, just have minor references that they're in the same universe. That could still work.
Because, you know, even with the sorry, I think it's Super Mega Force, the ones that had the keys.
Yeah, Super Mega Force.
Like, I don't need them to be connected to appreciate that that's an awesome power. That feels like a fan power, you know? Like, it feels like that's more... that was more a series for people that had watched it, like, oh, we're turning these ones into you. Like, I don't necessarily need them to be in the same world, because I think that almost overly complicates it. Like, haha, we saved the world for like a week, and now these new people have completely different powers. So I kind of dread that they would do something like that. It seems like it could work, but I don't think it should. So I guess that would be the one I would dread, even though I'm not like a huge Power Ranger fan.
Fair enough. The ones I was thinking Star Trek could do with one.
That could be cool.
Only because they're doing the original series right now. They could easily spin that off, because the timelines have changed, into a Deep Space Nine series of films, or Next Gen, and have all these crews at once. And then, like, maybe do like a Star Trek like war film thing where they all team up. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
The one I'm dreading is I'm kind of expecting this in Ninja Turtles. Like in the comics where they had like the Raphael standalone comic and stuff. I'm kind of thinking like a Raphael standalone film, or oh look, here's the Rocksteady and Bebop film, or oh look, Casey Jones now has his own film, and it's like I don't want to see this.
In all fairness, a Casey Jones film starring Stephen Amell would be awesome.
Isn't that Arrow?
Yeah, he's playing Casey Jones.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, just wouldn't it be very similar? Just a different. I mean, he's a similar character in that he's a masked vigilante. So he'd be like, "Wait a minute, am I playing the same dude, just with a stick instead of a bow?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. You have failed this hockey team.
Nice.
But I was your host for this one, Chriz, aka the Mole, and I'll say thank you to my guests.
You're welcome.
Oh, can I mention one more thing real quick? I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I remember one more failed cinematic universe we should really mention.
Okay, I'm gonna dread this, but okay.
How Sony tried to build a Spider-Man cinematic universe with just Spider-Man's rights.
I'm gonna make the comment that they said they may still be doing that.
Oh dear God.
With the
I'll give you the Venom movie. Venom movie could be cool. But if you go through with the shit, we're gonna flash back to fucking Aunt May's secret agent. No, don't fucking do that.
No, the ones they mentioned were Sinister Six, Venom, and possibly Black Cat. Which I'm sorry, Black Cat and Venom and Sinister Six could work as films, but I'd rather they get Spider-Man right first.
Yeah, I agree. As long as they don't make, because they were talking about like I saw something about Secret Agent Aunt May. I'm like, are you that desperate? No, don't do that, please.
Which I will also say, Spider-Man is another example of a pitfall for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel.
Yeah, because he's being shoehorned in.
Not just because he's being shoehorned in, but I mean, he's going to appear, fair enough, and then he's going to go back to Sony to be in their films. If they've shown us anything with the last 5 films, they know how to fuck up Spider-Man franchises. If they fuck up this new Spider-Man franchise, what's going to happen? Because, they've killed the Spider-Man franchise. What, is he only going to appear in the Marvel Cinematic films like Avengers? Or are Sony inevitably going to reboot it and then the cinematic universe and has a plot hole of why there's a new Peter Parker of a different story?
Well, Spider-Man's next solo movie is going to be in the MCU. You know that, right?
Did you not hear anything I just mentioned?
Well, I am, but talking about Spider-Man's solo movies, well, the solo movies are being part of the MCU. I don't see how that's going to bomb.
They're being made into the part of the MCU, but they're still being run by Sony, and they're still standalone for the Sony stuff. It's just the Marvel ones where Marvel makes money, and Sony ones where Sony makes money, but they're still technically separate. They're just being joined together slightly.
Yes,
which
however,
means if Sony's in charge of the Spider-Man films, they can fuck it up. They've done it twice with two different Spider-Man franchises.
Yes, but they have one ace in the hole now, is that they confirmed as part of this agreement that Kevin Feige was going to be one of the producers of the Spider-Man movie.
And Steven Spielberg produced Transformers. People still don't like it. What's your point?
People like the first one generally. I'm just saying.
I like the first one, but I'm just saying, just because he's a producer, but the fact Sony still has final say means he's almost powerless.
Sony has final say, yes, but the fact that they went through all this is Sony knows they keep fucking it up, and they brought Feige in specifically to make sure they didn't fuck it up. That was kind of the point.
Yeah, and they also got hacked on their PS3s and vowed that they were going to bring people in to make sure the PSN didn't go down again. How was Christmas?
Well, that actually, that
wasn't a hack. That was a DDoS attack.
Yeah,
that was a DDoS attack.
No, I would actually go more with the PSN was hacked a couple years ago. Then they had that huge corporate hack with the studio stuff.
Yeah, there's also that one as well.
They weren't going to do it, and it's like they screwed up even worse.
Yeah, there's also that one. But the reason I mentioned the DDoS attack, Jim, was because, to their credit, and I think Richter knows this as well, because obviously he has both, didn't Xbox get their shit together faster than Sony, who were meant to have stuff in place for this?
That is true.
Yeah, it's like Sony were like, no. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Which means I have confidence that they might fuck this up. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and just be blind and be like, oh, Disney's involved, we must suckle a teat. I have strong belief that they can fuck it up. It's literally too many cooks, if that makes sense. Like Sony and Disney at the same time. I trust in their ability to fuck things up. But like I said, I was your host, Chriz the Mole, and see ya.